Hello and welcome to Webcrawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into the weirdest, strangest, and most mysterious corners of the internet. We're called Webcrawlers because we are a podcast about interesting things we looked up on the web. I'm Allie Siegel.
And I'm Melissa Stetton.
We have a Patreon where you can get access to ad-free episodes, video episodes a day early, merchandise discounts. You can join for as little as $2 a month by going to patreon.com/webcrawlers. Melissa, who are our patrons this week, if we have any?
Steven. I'm going to assume that's Steven Tyler of the band Aerosmith.
Yes, welcome Steven Tyler.
Welcome
of the
Steven
band
Tyler.
We're so excited to have you. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and call into our voicemail.
Oh my God, we have a new number.
We have a new number. If you have been calling into the old number, that is fine.
It's fine.
It's not going anywhere.
No.
It's just being used for the Big Ones Patreon podcast. So Maria will still continue to send those over. But we have our own personalized number, which
yes,
is...
we do.
626-420-69.
Yes, it took me about 20 minutes to search all the combinations of 6-9 in the available numbers. And I was
so
like, 426.9. Let's do it.
6-9 instead of 69.
I don't know. Is that weird that I'm saying that?
Yeah, because that ruins the whole
I like
thing.
to 6-9.
Yeah, you like to 6-9. You like to 420-69.
Why am I saying that?
Yeah.
Does everything I'm saying sound weird?
Yes. Okay, so just to repeat, the number is 626-63-420-69. 626-63-420-69. Guys, today is the episode of a lifetime, and we have to thank Becca, your girl, for...
Ya girl. It's ya girl.
It's your girl for introducing us to this guest today. It is Joe Diamond. I'm scared, excited, and thrilled, and nervous.
You may remember Becca a few weeks ago called in and said she got a Ouija board.
Yes.
That she said was not haunted. There was a note specifically saying that it's not haunted.
Not haunted. Yes.
And this is who she got it from.
Yeah. And listen, he's been on Coast to Coast AM, dubbed America's greatest mind reader. He is the world record holder for solving the world's largest corn maze blindfolded.
What? I didn't see that.
Yes. He also allegedly hacked the Pentagon without a computer live on radio.
Great.
Which I don't understand how that's not illegal. So we're going to ask him about that. He is an artist in residence at the Dole Mansion in Crystal Lake, Illinois, which I think is kind of like...
Jason.
Yes, Jason is from Crystal Lake. But what is that? Friday the 13th? Is that
Yes.
those movies? But I imagine the Dole Mansion is kind of like the... what's the place here? The Magic Castle.
Oh, yeah. He's a great magician, too.
He's an amazing magician.
Tons of videos on YouTube of him doing cool-ass shit.
But this is the craziest part. In 2021, the mayor of Crystal Lake declared November 16th as Joe Diamond Day.
Wow.
I wish it was November 16th today, so this would be a Joe Diamond Day episode. But
well, maybe we'll have him back on Joe
we'll have to have
Diamond
him
Day.
back on in November. So welcome, Joe Diamond, to the podcast. Joe, thank you so much for coming today. We are so excited. And as we said, thank you, Becca, for setting this up.
Yes. A very fun chain of events that led us here. Usually it's like an email or,
So she bought a Ouija board from you.
Well, she picked it up. I didn't sell it.
Right.
Yeah, there's and then she called into you guys' show.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, will you tell, what was the deal with that Ouija board? Will you tell us the story of the Ouija board?
So let me back up just a few steps. I am a professional mind reader, mentalist, psychic entertainer, whatever you want to call it, in the Chicagoland area.
Right.
And for the better part of 10 years, I did shows out of the Dole Mansion in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And my shows were sold out for the better part of those 10 years. I had a small little studio on the second floor that sat 13
Amazing.
people. So that way everyone who came got a chance to be a part of the show and have their mind read. And I even, there's like a little, how businesses and areas do like the best of their area and stuff. Well, that's the Fox Valley. And I actually won Best of the Fox for live theater, even though there's huge couple 100-seat theaters.
Holy shit.
My little tiny 13-person venue, which only does these weird little spooky mind reading shows. And I had a couple different shows I designed for that room. One was all themed around time. One was themed around mystics from throughout history. And the end of one of those shows ended with a Ouija board. So during my time there, I was in the local paper for basically exercising people's homes of Ouija boards through, again, another weird chain of events. People would call me and be like, hey, I don't want this board. Will you come take it? Like, we'll pay you. And I'd be like,
Wow.
you don't have to pay me. I'll just come take it, like, off your hands.
Yeah.
Like, can you sage it? I was like, I mean, I'll buy sage on the way. Like, okay, sure. Like, okay, whatever. And so I amassed a collection, and the local paper heard about this and picked it up.
Oh my
And
God.
even though it was a local article for a while, I don't know if this is still true. Some of you may have to look this up or check. But when you Googled Ouija board and clicked on images in Google, and you scroll down about halfway through the page, I would be the first human face you would see. Like, not
Stop
full,
it.
not
No
anyone.
way.
I would be the first, because boardgames.com picked it up, and like all these different places picked up that story.
Went viral.
Well, not in the traditional sense. It went viral, like, it was around Halloween. It went viral in like these board game areas and collectors areas and such. And
How many did you have?
I had at one point around 20, but then the opposite happened. People started contacting me wanting boards. So I got rid of them all very quickly. And then I started amassing some again. People would bring them to me. And so that had happened. And I would just keep them at that studio in that building without getting too much into, for lack of a better term, the politics of it all there. There's a lot of
Ouija politics.
Yeah. But long story short, that's an arts park, and the current board of directors has terminated the leases of about 2/3 of the artists there since January 1st. So suffice to say, I did need a crystal ball to see that it was coming for me. And not everyone on the board was super keen on me always talking about the haunted history of that building. I guess they don't like the truth. And I will just leave it at that.
Wake up, sheeple.
The truth is out there.
I could tell a million stories about that. We'll stick to
Well, you're going to.
we're going to.
Hear some.
Well, no, those will be about the paranormal things. I could tell a million stories just about the creepy living people, but we'll stick to the non-living, the ephemeral, because as far as I know, they don't have lawyers. So I'm not terrified of them.
Or
The living,
do they?
terrified.
Living, the living are scary.
Yeah, exactly. So I was moving out, and I had all these boards, and I was like, I don't know what to do with these. You know how people will just leave like when they're moving out, they'll just leave like an office
Like a
chair
couch.
out and just be like free.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they going to do? Kick me out?
Oh my
So
God.
I just put the boards out front right after their big women's afternoon tea function. As they're all leaving with little signs that said free and then not haunted, underneath. Because they're
Sure.
not. They're
You
not.
gotta
It's all about
clarify.
intent. It's all about intent
Yeah,
with what
no
you do with them,
Pazuzu.
right? And I put it on my Instagram, figuring, okay, worst case scenario, some of these very conservative white ladies will throw them in the
Tea ladies.
garbage. We'll throw them in the garbage.
Burn
And
them.
then, it's not my problem. Or someone on my on my Instagram story or whatever will come and pick them up. And people did come and pick them up. One of them was your
Wow.
listener who had some strange things happen to her and called in about it. And
Oh my God.
here we are. We're all caught
Wow.
up.
Here we are.
Wow.
Oh my God. Wait, so I'm curious about like this haunted history of where you worked, and also you've done other mentalist investigations at spooky places. Tell us a little bit about that.
It wasn't part of like the initial conscious career plan to work in haunted locations. It just kind of happened. It kind of just came about. And
that comes upon you.
Like, I've always been fascinated with the strange and the unknown. It's why I got into this line of work. And as I work specifically with, people's minds, but I'm fascinated. The joke in my show is I always say I'm not a medium, I'm a large. Oh, that's my wife's favorite joke. So it's in every joke. It's in every show.
That's good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. That said, I do like, after doing mind reading, taking stuff to a creepy place and talking about, like, I use pendulums a lot in my shows and there's a lot of spirit communication type stuff you can do without having to be a medium.
Right.
And so I explore a lot of that type of stuff in my shows and in my artistic work. And being in a historic location, which happens to be haunted, it lends itself to that. So when I was renting my studio, I found out about all these different historical hauntings and different things tied into it. So it was at the Dole Mansion in Crystal Lake. In 1922, it was purchased by Eliza Ringling of Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey fame.
Oh, shit.
She purchased the property after her husband Al passed away. She came down from Baraboo, Wisconsin, which I went to all the time as a kid. There's a Circus World Museum up there. So I went to then they have like a big circus up there and like a museum and all the carts and would like throw a circus and everything. So she came down to the Crystal Lake area, bought this house, extended it. So technically it's two houses that are actually so huge they're connected. And fast forward, the area that is extended on the house became a 501c3, and they opened it up as artist studios to rent out, to paint and do photography. And there was a psychic medium. She became a very good friend of mine, Lauren Purcell. She's amazing. She does like some paranormal tours and cemetery tours and everything. She does great work. She'd be great to have on the show, by the way.
That sounds familiar almost.
She has a podcast. She goes by Mystic Chick is her name and brand and such. She's awesome. She's definitely worth looking into and worth checking out. She's great. Her and I teamed up for a couple seances and events and Halloween this last year. She was just like one of those things where we met and we're like, did we just become best friends? So we were there for a long time, and I did my Halloween shows there before that. And as I started these 13-person shows, and it really got traction as and it happens to be in this cool haunted location, I had the Maxwell Mansion in Lake Geneva reach out to me, and they're one of the most haunted locations in Wisconsin. Dr. Maxwell did a lot of, we'll just say, unnecessary surgeries downstairs where the speakeasy is now. And it's actually the last stop of the Lake Geneva Ghost Tour. So it's the finale of that tour. And that's where I perform once or twice a month, doing shows there. And then as a result of that, other mansions in the area have reached out to me. So I've almost had to I do my fair share of corporate work and, traditional theaters and so forth. And I'll perform at your improv theater in Maine. Sure. Absolutely. You don't have to have a haunted location for me to come to.
Right. Yeah. I don't only do cemeteries.
Right as the Dole Mansion, as all that was happening and I knew I was going to move out, I signed the contract for Halloween at a place called the Woodstock Opera House. Now, if you've seen the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, that was filmed in Woodstock, Illinois. It's not Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. It is Woodstock, Illinois. That's where I was born.
Oh.
And that building he jumps out of at one point, they call it a hotel.
Yeah.
It's not a hotel. It is the Woodstock Opera House. It is the first theater Orson Welles ever performed in.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Everyone from
cool.
Shelley Berman to Paul Newman performed there as an actor. They have a big legend of an actress named Elvira that haunts seat DD113 and will sit down in the chair during rehearsals while people are in there rehearsing.
Ooh.
Yeah, and lots of weird things will happen there. They're having a big paranormal conference there in a few weeks, and I'm presenting at that. So literally like the place like I wished I could have always been at for Halloween.
Yeah. It comes
said
to you.
here. I did a show there in February and we sold it out. It's 411 seats. And so and that would literally before I left that night, they were like, let's do Halloween. Let's do Halloween and some flashlight tours.
The biggest night.
Have you ever performed at the Magic Castle in Los Angeles?
I've never been to the Magic Castle. No, they
you got to come
they
here.
famously they go back and forth on non-magic acts. Like for a while, they didn't have mind readers, they didn't have jugglers. There's a lot of things that have changed there positively over the years. I have a lot of friends who have worked there. It's never really been like a big bucket list item. I have performed places more in the Midwest, like the Chicago Magic Lounge, which is kind of like the Midwest version of that place. You know, I do go by like Mind Reader. I won the award for America's Greatest Mind Reader and everything. Right. But I never really put like a label on myself. I've always just been Joe Diamond.
Yeah.
I was too show busy for like the psychic-y metaphysical community growing up.
Right.
And I was too like weird and esoteric for like the magician show busy community growing up. So I kind of developed my own thing, and I hate niche, to say brand. It feels icky, but I think niche is a better term. I just did whatever felt right to me as an artist at the time, and as a result, I haven't been pigeonholed. Where if I feel like I had gone by just psychic or just even mentalist or magician or something like that, I probably would have been stuck.
You did something that was crazy. You hacked the Pentagon without a computer live on the radio.
Yes.
What is that? What was that all about?
So I was on 95 Will Rock Radio, a big radio program here. It's called Will Rock. It's WIIL because it's Wisconsin, Illinois. And I had like the week before, just on a whim, while performing in like a bar somewhere. This is early on in my career, like 2014, 2015. So about 10 years ago now. And they just on a whim, like challenged me to guess their PIN code and like handed me their phone.
Oh.
And I just had them think of each individual digit. And I got it. I unlocked the phone.
Oh my God, I want to do that with my phone.
Well, I don't do it anymore.
It's going to lock your phone forever.
I don't do it anymore, and you'll see why in a moment.
It's actually probably a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Here's why. I'm on the air, and that person texts in, going, "Oh my gosh, this is the guy who unlocked my iPhone." So now one of the hosts hands me her iPhone, and I guess her iPhone, and I unlock it. And now for like the next 6 months, everywhere I go, people are just handing me their phones. Oh, you're the guy here. Break into my phone. Well, here's the thing too, like we can do something like this later on, but like I'm much more empathic than I am telepathic. So I am reading more like the feelings and such, and I'm getting specific enough to the point of mind reading, basically, if we were going to get really, really specific. So, like, for example, if I'll pick up like a motherly energy about a person, even if it's not like that person's mom they're thinking about, it will make sense why I'm picking up that vibe. Like, people say to me all the time, "No, you're not right, but it makes sense why you're getting that." Like, that's like, that sentence is like, it's the bane of my existence, but it makes total sense. And so, with a number, like if I get 2 of those digits out of order, that phone doesn't open. Like if I wrote it on a pad and someone said it,
right,
and I showed it and 2 of the digits were out of order, that audience is going to go, "Oh, he got that. Okay, they're reversed, or one of the digits is off. Oh, but come on, look how close he got. Like seriously." But that phone either opens or it doesn't. So I literally got like anxiety doing this. So that's one of the reasons I stopped doing it. Here's the other reason I stopped doing it. Well, the second reason technically is germs, gross phones, everything too.
Sure. Yeah.
But the main reason was the next time I went on that radio program, they replayed the clip. We get a phone call from a Washington, D.C. area code, and it shows up on the caller ID on the screen when they take the call. "Hi, my name's Susan. I'm calling from the Pentagon." Yeah, that was my reaction.
Not Susan from the Pentagon.
Susan.
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm thinking, okay, this is a joke. This is someone pranking. We see Washington, D.C. area code. He opens up on, like, the host throws open they got 3 screens in front of them, throws it open, types in the phone number. Sure enough, it's a desk number for the Pentagon. It's like, oh, this is legit. She's like, I got a question for the mind reader. I'm going to put some context on here. Remember about a decade ago when Apple and the FBI were in the news every day about whether or not they should unlock a terrorist cell's iPhone?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was front page news as this is happening.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, as this phone call is happening right now. So she says, do you need to be in the same room with someone to guess their PIN code?
Oh my God, they like want to hire you?
I mean, I backpedal because technically the answer is yes, but also I know what she's really asking and I can't do that.
Right.
Also, I don't want the white vans coming for me. Like, right?
Oh no.
Like, you say they want to hire me. I might not have a choice in that matter. Like,
you're about to disappear forever.
Yeah, exactly. We've read those stories, like seriously. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try something easy, Susan. Let's just try something with a deck of cards. I have her think of a card, put a card face down on the table, and I say, now, Susan, would you say you're in the most secure building in the nation? She says, no, I'm the planet. I say, oh, great.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Susan.
Well, think about this. This card exists in your mind, which is the most secure place in the universe. Susan, I have one card face down on the table. I'm committed. I can't change my mind. You need to be committed too. What card are you thinking of? She says 2 of diamonds. The host turns over the card I put down, and it was the 2 of diamonds. Everyone in the studio goes nuts, and they decide to start saying, oh my God, Joe Diamond hacked the Pentagon. Joe Diamond hacked the Pentagon. And now I'm thinking, great, the white vans are coming for me. The black and the white vans come.
Yeah, seriously.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember leaving the studio that day, now that I really think about that. So who knows what happened.
Yeah.
But
they men in black to you.
Yeah, the chloroform. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have my thumb drive with me. I want the clip of this. This clip, like I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, this is, what the heck? They're like, yes. Now, at the time, I was doing my own Sunday night radio program on that same radio shows or radio stations, AM station. It's called Unreal Radio. It's kind of like a local version of Coast to Coast kind of thing. And they were like, yeah, sure. And they were like, you know how you log in to pull your show? Just do that with the FM station. Like, perfect. Right. So I come in nice and early Sunday evening.
Oh my God, was it scrubbed?
That hour was missing from the broadcast.
I knew it. Fuck, that's crazy.
I have thousands of witnesses who heard this live.
Yeah.
I have thousands of witnesses. So
that's crazy.
But I don't have the footage.
They gotcha.
That's crazy. Susan is the greatest mentalist of them all.
Yeah.
Would you be able to do like before we let people in, do like a mentalist trick on like, or not trick is the wrong word.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people get upset with the word trick. I don't mind it so much. I mean, let's try this with, because Allie, you were asking about wanting to do this with the PIN code. So let's do this. Think of a date that means something to you. 2 digits for the month and 2 digits for the day. Don't say it. Don't even write it down out of screen just yet. Now, just a couple things real quick too. If you look at my site, if you look at this, it's pretty clear. I wouldn't be able to make a living constantly setting stuff like this up.
Yeah, and I just want to preface this with Melissa. This is not set up. Melissa and I have had I asked this last minute. We don't know anything about what's going on. And in fact, like I'm nervous because I'm bad at memorizing numbers.
You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to be scared. I'm not a clown. That's fine.
I know. I'm afraid of clowns and magicians. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah.
Now, one other thing. So that brings me to the next thing. So this is not a magic trick. This can go wrong.
Yeah, no,
and
I know.
If it goes wrong, I'm not going to magically make it right. I'm just going to take the hit and move on. That's totally, I agree. That's part of this. So here's what I want you to do. Don't tell me anything out loud, but you got one date in mind. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell me one way or another, but if you're thinking of a date in the beginning or even the middle of the year, change to the end of the year. Anywhere else, just stay where you are. And don't tell us if you're changing your mind or not. So see, Melissa, we don't even know if Allie just changed her mind or not right now. So we have nothing to go on. So even if I did research, that would give me nothing to go on right now, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So
Melissa's like,
yes, right. So because again, you could have changed your mind right now or not. And I don't even know if you changed your mind right now or not. Correct, Allie?
Yes.
Okay, here's how this is going to work. Now, Melissa, you know Allie, so you might see some of the things I pick up on here. So here's how this is going to work, Allie. I want you to imagine look at the screen so you can see me. Imagine the first digit right here, second digit here, third here, and fourth here, kind of across the screen in front of my face. Okay.
Okay.
So first, second, third, and fourth digit. Just think of, and I've just got one of my business cards and a pencil here. Think of, we're going to start small. I need to know what you look like when you both lie and tell the truth. So think about the lowest digit, okay?
Okay.
Don't tell me what that digit is, but tell me what position it's in, the first, second, third, or fourth position.
First,
and that's the truth. Okay.
Yes.
Now think of the highest digit, okay? And this time, lie to me. Tell me if it's in the first, second, third, or fourth position, but lie to me this time.
Fourth.
Interesting. Okay, so I know what you look like when you lie and tell the truth.
You're laughing. Yeah, it's not exactly a hard tell.
Okay, no, this is good. This is good. Hold your. Are you right-handed?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, hold your right hand up like this. Don't imagine a keypad in front of you, and you just swiped your card. And imagine this is the PIN code to your debit card or something. And imagine you reach out and you type in the first digit.
Okay.
And
I'm
just imagine in your mind.
Something?
Okay.
Okay.
The first digit, the second digit. Okay. The third digit is even. Yes.
No.
Man, that third digit is bugging me. Okay, let me just start over. Let me double check. Okay, first digit. I managed to type in the first digit.
I'm intentionally trying not to move.
No, that's good. I don't want you to consciously move your hand. I just need you to really think. I don't want you to consciously move your hand. I just need you to really think. Okay, so first digit. Okay. Second digit. Really? So the third digit is odd. You're saying yes? Huh? I am struggling with this. Okay, well then, and now finally put in the last digit. Okay, that one was the clearest of all. That last digit was the clearest of all. Okay, perfect. Okay. What was that last digit?
2.
2. And the first digit was 0, yes?
Yes.
Okay, it was just that third digit that I was struggling with. You know what? Hang on one quick second. I'm just going to imagine typing in the third digit just once more. Let me double check. I'm going to make one quick change. I'm just going to change that third digit real quick. Okay. I just crossed out and wrote a new number over the third digit. For the first time, tell us the whole PIN code that you just made up right now inside your mind.
0912.
It's a really good thing we didn't use your real PIN code because that's exactly what I wrote down. 0912.
Oh my God.
Wait, but how?
I just changed from 3 at the last minute.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Okay, I'm glad. Oh, you just did ask a question.
That's crazy.
How did you know that she didn't
bask in this for a moment before you ask? Bask for a moment.
I know. I'm like,
let's all
how do you know she picked September and not like October? Like, how do you?
So we could have done this with a real PIN code. And we could have gone on a shopping spree then.
Yeah, that's scary.
So
I have a question about mentalism in general, because you said something interesting that I've always wondered about mentalism. Is that you are you said like an empath, that you're able to, I think that's what you said, like pick up on things.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that about mentalism, that like you said, it's not magic, that it's more about being an empath and like picking up on people's cues. And do you think that there is a correlation, and you don't have to speak about your own experience. This is just, I'm interested in like psychology and like people and their backgrounds. Do you think that there is a correlation between like trauma and hypervigilance and mentalism?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to go the opposite of what you probably think.
Okay.
and speak pretty much only about myself. I think yes. I mean, I don't without getting too therapy personal.
Of course. Totally. Yeah.
And a lot of stuff, emotional stuff happened in my family. I guess the best way to put it in perspective is my late uncle was in fact a guest on Jerry Springer, not ironically, and we will leave it at that. We will leave it at that. So I actually just heard there's a podcast called The Dollop, and they just did an episode on Jerry Springer's life. And being in show business, I definitely see a kinship with Jerry to a certain extent,
totally,
and the guests and showbiz and everything. I think I'm gonna broaden it outward to not talk about myself, to broaden it out of. I'm not gonna keep it just to mentalism, but talk about it all of show business and say pretty much yes. I mean, there's a lot. I don't know if it's. I mean, it's different for different people. I mean, I know some great entertainers who had nothing. Like, there's a good friend of mine who her parents are both in show business, and they're a very supportive family, and she's really great at marketing herself, just like her parents were, and everything else. And like, I know like her parents are good people. Who knows what?
Totally.
We all have our emotional stuff. I mean, I'm sure they've got their own stuff. Of course. But at the same time, I know they haven't been on Jerry Springer, so like I know whatever they've got, it's better than me. I think there's that. I think particularly with mystery entertainment, because like I see this a lot with hypnotists. Yeah, there's something about control. There's something about wanting to relate to people. I mean, there's definitely something for me about wanting. I mean, I'm an only child. I didn't know why people in my family said the things they said, acted the way they acted. I didn't know. Yeah. I also went to 12 years of Baptist school. So here, let's just open the trauma up. There we go.
Yeah, totally.
So there's that. So I think there was a lot of like, why doesn't that girl like me? If only I could read her mind and know what. So I think that was part of it. Part of it's show business too. I mean, there's, Mark Maron has a great phrase, like show business is not your parents. Like that's
really funny.
You're not going to get the validation from strangers that your family didn't give you. So I think there is a correlation for sure. I like the big thing that I equated to is I grew up loving those old Twilight Zone episodes, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and like I want, when people come to my show, I like, okay, we're going to, again, whether it's 13 people in a haunted mansion that's now an arts park, or 400 people in a historic theater on Halloween, see a mind reader. Both of those are setups for Twilight Zone episodes, if I've ever heard them. So it's like, but here's the thing though. Here's the interesting part of that. In my mind, I'm not the star of that episode. The audience is.
Yeah, no, totally.
A good hypnotist makes the audience the star of the show and doesn't just make them the butt of jokes. But a good hypnotist will say, hey, we're going to do something together that we're all going to remember for a really long time. So I think that's where that's from. Okay, so did you have another question, Allie, or do you want to, should we?
No, let's dive in. Let's get into it.
So we've got Rebecca and Lizzie in here. I'm going to ask each of you to unmute in a moment. But for right now, we're going to try a couple of tests. And what's cool about this and something coming up later is that everyone listening to the podcast later on can actually follow along and try this as well, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, that's fun.
So yeah, for this first part, you'll need nothing. Later on in the podcast, you will need 10 cards, whether it's playing cards, Uno cards, tarot cards. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to think of a memory from my past. I will project it out to all of you, and we'll see how many of you received the psychic transmission. Everyone in the chat, look at me if you're just listening. If you can, close your eyes. If you're just driving, just keep your eyes open and just listen. Yeah, exactly. But everyone else, just listen. All right, everyone together, just take a deep breath and exhale. Very good. All right, now take another deep breath. And this time, as you exhale, just get in your mind a number from 1 to 10. Lock it in your mind. Don't change it. Remember that number. Okay? All right, we'll do it again. Don't worry. We'll still keep it simple. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, get in your mind a direction on a compass. Again, lock it in your mind. Don't change it. All right. This last one's going to be the most difficult. This time, I want all of you to get in your mind 2 simple geometric shapes, one inside the other, like a square inside of something else. Don't pick a square, though, since I just said it. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Remember those 2 shapes. All right, I'm curious to see how all of you did. This is a pretty common memory. Some of you have probably had something similar happen to you, but I was thinking about my first day of college, and I couldn't find geometry class, so I asked someone where it was, and they said it was on the north side of the building. So put your hand up if you got north. Let's just see. Okay, all 4 of you got north. Statistically, only one of you should have gotten it, but all of you got it, so that's
Wait
great.
a minute.
When I got to the classroom, I looked around and noticed there were 7 students. Put your hand up if you got 7. Let's see how many of you. Okay, half of you got 7. That's great. This was a tough one. The teacher on the chalkboard had drawn a circle and a triangle. Put your hand up if you got those. 3 out of the 4 of you. Allie, did you at least get one of those?
Yeah, I got triangle.
You got triangle. Okay, so all 4 of you got at least one of the shapes. 3 out of the 4 of you got 2 out of the got both. So this is great. Now, if you got none of these right, that's okay too. If you're the kind of person who, when I said think of 2 simple geometric shapes, you thought of a star inside of a dodecahedron, that's okay. These are the types of people who are better at conceiving of thoughts than receiving thoughts. This is a nice, fun way to do this as well. This is a way to read your own mind. I'll show you what I mean. Everyone take your, because I know who I'm going to bring on in a moment, but this is something that else everyone can do. Everyone take your index finger of your dominant hand, hold it to your forehead. And when I snap my fingers, I want you to draw a capital letter Q on your forehead. Draw a capital letter Q on your forehead. When I snap my fingers, now draw it. And then keep your finger where you end the tail of the Q. If you ended, because here's the thing, if you ended over your right eye, that means you drew it as if you yourself could see that Q, which means you're better at seeing the world from your own perspective. If you drew it over,
that's not good.
If you drew it over your left eye, that means you drew it as if the rest of the world could see that Q, which means you're better at putting yourself in other people's perspective, in other people's shoes.
What's going on with Becca?
It looks like
Becca, don't switch it.
You were
Becca,
kind of in the middle, but it did look like you were
She
more.
slowly
It looked like you were more to. It looked like you were more to your right eye. In fact, Becca, let's. Yeah, it did look like you were more to the right eye. In fact, I'm going to ask Becca if you could unmute. I'm going to talk to you for a moment because it did look like you were more over the right eye. So is that right? It was more kind of over the right eye.
It was.
Becca?
I was touching. Hi, everyone. I was touching my right eyebrow.
Yeah. From our angle, it did look like you were kind of in the middle, but yeah, you were touching
the
your
bimbo
right eyebrow.
bucket hat was maybe obscure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Bimbo Bucket Hat. That's a heck of a band name right there.
That is a great band name. This is actually, if anyone tuning in wants to get this hat and rock it all summer like I do, this is a great gardening hat, by the way, and I plan to wear it on the boat, going on a boat.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, and Allie designed it, and it's available on Hot Horse if you're nasty.
Thank you, Becca. Always good at promoting our merch.
I always plug the pod. I love you all.
Yeah. And Becca, so do you have the board with you, Becca? Is it right there? Yes,
Of course.
there it is.
Of course.
I had to
design
buy
for Not
the
Haunted.
authentication. Yeah, and I had to keep the card because
The free Not Haunted card.
it literally
exactly.
sits on my coffee table like that because I just love it.
Awesome. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I'm so glad that went to a good home. And what
Yeah,
a story. And again, full disclosure, Becca, since you put this together, we have messaged on Instagram and run into each other a few places. But again, you have no idea what we're about to do, correct?
No, we
Okay.
are not
right.
in cahoots.
Okay, I'm gonna send you 3 more thoughts.
Okay.
We'll see if anyone else picks up on them, but I want to do this a little differently. I've got 3 more of my cards here. I'm gonna write these down first and then send them to you one at a time, and we'll see how you do. Okay. So let's imagine that you and I are walking in to a library. And we, of course, find ourselves in the paranormal section.
Of course.
And I am going to write something down here. Okay, I'm going to set the pencil down. And I'm going to move this card behind the other 2 so you can't see it, but I also can't change my mind. Okay. I'm going to send this thought to you. I'm going to imagine I reach out and I grab a book off the shelf. I look at it. It's got an interesting title. Maybe it's about ghosts, maybe it's about aliens, but what color is the cover of the book that I am sending to you?
You want me to say it now?
Mm-hmm.
Black.
Black. Okay. Like a really heavy black or like a light black, like
a purple black.
A purple black. Okay. Okay. Fair. Okay. Okay. Fair. Okay. So, okay. I'll take that. Okay, that's good. That's good. No, that's good. I'll explain why in a moment. I don't want you to get too much in your heads. So I'll explain why in a moment. I'll make the next one even easier. I'll flip through the pages and I'll settle on on one page. I'll make it a 2-digit number, and both digits will be different, and neither will be a 0. Okay, neither will be a 0. So I'll settle on a page, 2 digits. Neither will be a 0. I will write it again. I will move this to the back so you can't see it and I can't change my mind. And I will send you the 2-digit page number. What 2-digit page number did you get?
14.
14. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to look up and down the page and settle. This will be the hardest one. I'll settle on a word. I think we can do this though. Okay. So again, last but not least, I'll move this to the back so you can't see it, but I can't change my mind. And as quick as you can, say out loud a verb, something you could do right now.
Run.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so check this out, you guys. Check this out. Okay, let me turn these around so you can see. So you said a black. You said like a purplish black.
Yeah.
You said 14.
Yeah.
For the page, and out of all the words on that page, you said run.
Yeah.
Check this out. So this was why I was asking if it was like light black, dark black, because I got a little too specific for the first one. I wrote down royal black, which is black. That's what I was asking, light or black. I mean, purple is a royal color, so
yes,
I mean,
that's what I was just thinking.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 14.
What? No, stop it.
And here's the thing. I almost went with jump, but I crossed it out and wrote down run. You got all 3.
Oh my God. Can I tell you, that's so weird because I was like thinking 6'6", and then you said it's not a double digit, and then I was like 6'3", 27, and then when we were making eye contact, I was like gonna say 13, and then I knew that was wrong, and I picked 14. And run, I don't know why I said that, but when you said something you could do, I think I'm like anxious and excited. So
got it. Perfect. There you go. You nailed it. Perfect. You nailed it. Perfect. Awesome. Hell? All right. Let's let's do something with Lizzie now. Lizzie, here, I'm gonna mute you again. If you can mute yourself again, Becca. Lizzie, if you could unmute yourself.
Okay.
Hello. So Lizzie, I have never met you before.
Hi.
So I'm right on the Wisconsin-Illinois border, in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, right next to Kenosha, Wisconsin, where Orson Welles is from. So where are you in the world?
I'm in the Bronx, New York.
Oh, the Bronx. Awesome.
Yes.
Way cooler than Kenosha, Wisconsin. You
Yes.
are 1,000% cooler than me. I learned during Zoom shows, I had to be careful asking people where they were from, because once someone just started giving their address, it's like,
oh my God.
no, like,
Not this gal.
yeah. You're in the Bronx. You know better. Well, Well, also probably, I mean, to be fair, you could probably give your block and they'd still have a problem finding you. But like,
Exactly.
still, you're going to be extra safe. Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. So, do you have a pen and paper handy on your end? Because I literally just used my last three.
Sir.
I mean, I've got a notepad, but I'll probably use it in a moment.
I got
Grab
my
a notepad.
one.
Oh, perfect. And are you good at math? Do you need a calculator? How are you?
I'm good at math, yeah, but I got my iPhone here in case.
Perfect. Okay. You can use that. That's allowed in a moment if you need to. You don't even have to tell us if you're going to use it or not. Because here's why I asked Lizzie. Do you believe in parallel universes?
Yes.
Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of people, the multiverse is really popular in Hollywood right now. And that's not exactly the same way people in like the paranormal community think about parallel universes.
Of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A parallel universe, it's a little more in common with like, everything everywhere all at once, where like every decision, every moment could lead to an alternate version of you.
Yeah.
And I love this thought experiment. I love the idea that, somewhere out there, maybe on the other end of our universe, or maybe just on the other side of our reality in this universe, there's, another version of us. And
I'm a true believer of that.
Yeah. And my favorite kind of parallel universe to think about is where everything is exactly the same, except the opposite. Like just for example, we'd all be on the same Zoom call right now, but I'd be in the Bronx and you'd be in Kenosha, Wisconsin, right? In that opposite universe, you'd do laundry and you'd gain a sock, right? When you get to the crosswalk, you hit that button, it actually does something. Everything is the same, just a little different. In 2020, everyone was stuck outside for 18 months.
Oh my God.
Right? Everything just the same,
I wish.
just a little different, just opposite, just flipped, right? So we're going to play with that.
Okay.
I'd like you, just out of frame, to write down a 3-digit number. Now, again, make sure there's no zeros. You'll see why in a moment. And make sure they're all different. Don't do like 666 or 888. It's going to make what happens in a moment not mean anything, okay? It can be a number that means something to you or one you just make up. It is your choice. And if people want to follow along at home, you can do this as well. You'll notice you'll get a different outcome than Lizzie, of course. But you can follow along if you want to play this little thought experiment, if you want.
Okay, I got it.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the parallel universe, there would have been a version of you that would have done the same thing, but reversed. So I want you to write down that same 3-digit number, but flipped. So for example, if you wrote down 123, write down 321.
Okay.
So now when you've done that too, you've gotten a higher number and a lower number, right?
Yes.
Would you add those numbers or subtract them?
I just like instinctually, like what I
Well, what would you do?
I would add.
You would add, which means the other version of you would subtract them, right?
Yes.
This might be the first person or the first time in your whole history where you and this opposite version of you will be perfectly in sync.
In tune.
Right?
Okay.
So I want you to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Make sense?
Oh, okay. So, okay.
If you need to use the calculator, that's fine. So now, and you can double check on the calculator if you want to or need to, and take your time with this too. So don't feel pressured at all. But again,
3 days later.
3 days later.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But think about this. Everyone's parallel universe version would all be doing something different. They would have all written down different numbers. They would have chosen maybe to do the opposite. So think about this now. That new number that you've got right now is probably, that number basically represents the first time you and this parallel version of yourself have ever been in sync, right? Is it a 3-digit number still, or is it a 2-digit number?
It's a 3-digit number.
3-digit number. Cool. All right. Did anyone else do this, by the way? Did anyone else? Okay. Do you 2-digit number, 3-digit? What'd you get?
3-digit.
Three. Becca got 3. Ellie, what'd you get?
I'm doing the math right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I'm
3 days later.
Yeah. I'm just going to work with Lizzie for right now. I'm just going to work with...
I have a 3-digit number.
Okay, I'm just going to work with Lizzie right now. Okay. Lizzie, here's what I want you to do. Look at the first digit, and I want you to just count out loud from 1 to 9 for me. Okay? Don't pause on any numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so I talked before about, empathy versus telepathy and everything. So I was just kind of trusting my feelings as you went around along with that. I feel like I felt something when you said 2. Is the first digit 2?
No.
There's a 2 in it though, yes?
No. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Wait, in the new number? No.
In the new... Oh, okay. In the new number. Okay, no, okay. Okay, that's probably what confused me. Okay. I think someone else's... Okay, I think I know what happened. I think someone else's number had the 2 in it. I think. Okay, yeah. Yours is the one that started with it, Melissa?
Yes.
What's yours start with Lizzie?
Reveal it, the first digit? 5.
5, okay. I was getting 294. Is yours 594? Yeah?
594.
594? Okay,
Yeah.
and Melissa, so yours is... Oh, one of the digits is close. Oh, it's exact. Yours is 297?
Yes.
I just texted it to
What
Allie.
the fuck's happening here? What the fuck's happening
Bye, y'all.
here?
Have a nice weekend.
Mine is 2972.
Oh, you got the
It
same
is?
one?
Yours is
Oh,
also-
my God. Oh,
What were your starting numbers?
wait, Allie, you did...
What, Allie,
Allie,
what's
did you
yours?
get-
Mine hasn't been said yet. Do you want to guess mine, Joe?
Yeah, well, yours isn't the same as Lizzie's, right?
No.
Okay. Okay. Count from 1 to 9 for me. 1 to 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
4 versus
9.
first is your 4,
No.
but the 4's in it though. Yeah.
No, I did emphasize 4 when I was counting, but it's
Oh,
there's no 4
so you
in
did
it.
that to purposely throw me off. Okay. All right.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
You
Okay.
make.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. My gosh, yeah, sorry, I was just giving you dead air. Sorry. No, sorry, I don't know.
No, it's okay.
No. If like I said earlier, if I'm wrong, I'll take that. Because I did the numbers with you earlier, so I think you... Here's the one other problem, too. When you know what I'm looking for, it's easy to throw me off. And you said you went lower earlier, so I'm just trying to think if I can go a different route
You
with
also
you.
got 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I
which
got
was
3 out of the 4 of
insane.
you. Here, I'll just... Okay, so it wasn't Lizzie's. So yours obviously didn't match with Lizzie's, of course.
No.
But one of the digits is correct, is the same as hers, though. Yes.
Lizzie, what was your number?
The final one, 594.
Yeah, there is one
Okay,
number.
there's
that's the
one.
same.
There's one that's the same in yours too. Okay. Like one off from it. Yes.
The other group. There's one number that's one off from Melissa and Becca's.
No. Don't tell me. Don't know. What I'm saying is like, no. Not from that standpoint. It's 9. No, it's a 693 396.
198.
198. Okay, so I had the 1. Okay, or I got the 9. Okay, I got your pin code earlier. Forget all this.
Yeah.
Put this out of the podcast. I got 3 out of 4. I got 3 out of 4. All right.
You got 3 out of 4. That's all that matters.
Oh my gosh. You had to make. Of course, you had to make me sweat on that. All right.
I know.
All
I
right.
think I personally got so nervous that I started saying numbers weird.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
1,
no, this
2,
is fine.
3,
This is fine because in a parallel universe, he nailed that. The other me nailed that. So that's fine.
It's true.
No. It's in all seriousness. because people always ask me, oh, what do you do if you're wrong? And like, I love it when it does happen. Like I genuinely go for it, as you saw.
Yeah.
But like, if I am wrong, I just like am like, okay, like let's move on. It's funny too, because like the first thing in my live shows is I'll have people think of cards, and I'll say you're thinking of a red card, you're thinking of a black card, or whatever I think the color is. Yeah. And I just kind of stand there for a moment, and I just go, "That's it. That's all I do." And if I'm wrong on one, hopefully I'm only wrong on one, not both. But even if I am wrong on both, the line is then just, well, people always ask me, "What do you do if you're wrong?" Now you know.
Nothing.
All right, let's move on to the suits.
Just leave.
And so continue on. So that's part of it. All right, let's get away from numbers now. Let me try one last thing with you. Let me try one more thing with you, Melissa. When you were younger, I want you to go back in time in your mind. Here, let me find. Let me grab a. And I want you to go back in time in your mind to think of the first person you can remember having a crush on. Or one of the first people you can remember having a crush on. This can be a celebrity crush. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I want you to imagine, do you have the person's first and last name in mind?
Yes, I do.
Imagine yourself, go back in time in your mind to that age.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine yourself going up to a tree. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like a sharp rock or maybe a pocket knife or something. You do that thing where you carve a heart into the tree. And then you start to carve your initials.
Mm-hmm.
And then their initial. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Again, I'm going for what I feel. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, D, A. Okay, that time you weren't really thinking of the initials. You were just like, oh, God, you can actually do that backwards. Okay, first of all, I'm going to say that this was an actual person, not a celebrity, like someone you knew, yes?
No.
Oh, if that's the case, then both initials are different, yes?
Yes.
The first one isn't a vowel, is it?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, all right. I'm going to go with this then. I'm going to set the pencil down, and I will... oh, sorry about my handwriting. I will cover that up so you can't see it. All right. So how old were you when you had this? Well, actually, first, again, you don't have to tell us the name. So this was a celebrity.
Yes.
What were the initials?
JT.
JT. Okay. I don't know enough about celebrities as to who this would have been. Who would this have been?
Jonathan. Well, it's three initials. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, three initials, but you were just thinking JT. Okay. So how old would you have been around that time?
Oh, God, like 10 or 11?
10 or 11, okay.
Think? Or 12?
Because I wrote down, again, pardon my handwriting, but I wrote down MS and JT. There you go.
What? How?
It could have been Justin Timberlake, too.
It could have been Justin Timberlake, yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
And by the way, too, I should point this out as well. I will take a photo of all of this for all of you guys for social media as well, so you can post it afterwards and everything and all that. So you got all this as a memento of everything as well. So there we go. We guessed first crushes. We guessed pin codes. We traveled to parallel universes. We traveled to imaginary libraries. I mean, this has been a fun little adventure.
We have John Tenney in the waiting room. I'm going to let him in real quick.
Okay, yeah, let him in. He can join in for this last ritual. So this is where everyone will need 10 cards. Now, again, these don't have to be playing cards. They can be tarot cards. They can be Uno cards. They can literally be business cards, and you can just get a pen or pencil as well, or index cards. Grab 10 cards. While you're grabbing those 10 cards for this last ritual, the reason why is because my favorite tarot card is the Magician card. big surprise. You'll notice they're in front of a table. Now, the big reason I also love the Tarot Magician is because 2 reasons. Number one, it's one of the few cards in the deck that's non-binary. It's not fully clear whether the figure in the deck is male, female, both, or neither. Like, it could be anyone, which means it could be anybody. It can be you, it can be me, it can be all of us. And I think that's pretty powerful, especially since the Magician is all about creating power and control over the world around us. That's what the Magician represents, finding order in the chaos. So that's what this ritual is going to allow us to do, to find order in the chaos. First, we need to establish some chaos first. So again, give your cards one more mix. Now, and again, listeners, follow along with 10 cards. If you're driving or something, pause and listen to this last part of the podcast later on when you can follow along with 10 cards. It will be worth it, but also this isn't going to be very interesting if you're just listening. So it's worth it to listen to these last few minutes with 10 cards in hand. Now, at this point, there's nothing I can know about any of your cards in your hands or your listeners' hands.
Nope.
Well, there's one thing I know, Melissa. I know there's 10 of them. Which, I asked you to get 10. Well, I don't even want to know that. So let's get rid of some. Now, don't get rid of just one. Get rid of like at least 2. Make it a little harder. But at the same time, don't get rid of too many. Make sure you have at least 4 cards left in your hand to work with, so this will still be impressive. Hold the cards face down in your hand. Once you are ready and you're holding the cards face down in your hand, take a peek at your bottom card and remember it. If you've got your smartphone in the live stream here on Zoom, take a photo of it for so you can remember it later. Grab your smartphone and just take a photo of it here. I'm gonna do that as well. All right, perfect. Now hold the cards face down in your hand again. Now we're going to cast a spell, and by that I mean we're going to spell the word magician, just like at the bottom of this tarot card. So take your top card, move it to the bottom, and say out loud M.
M.
That's the first letter of the word magician. Take the new top card, move it to the bottom, and say A. Perfect. Keep going all together. Take the new top card, move it to the bottom, and say G. Perfect. New top card to the bottom. Say I. Keep going. 1 card for every letter. C. Next is another I. Next is another A. Next is the N. That was magician, yes?
Yes.
All right. We have one more step of the ritual. You'll notice the magician has one hand pointed towards the heaven, one hand pointed towards the earth. That's because he, she, or they are saying as above, so below. Pamela Coleman Smith actually said that was inspired by the Lord's Prayer, on earth as it is in heaven. So take your top card, deal it to the table, and say as above.
As above.
Take the new top card, move it to the bottom, and say so below.
So below.
Perfect. Do it again, as above.
As
above.
Yep, dealing that top card to the table, and then move the new top card to the bottom and say so below.
So below.
Keep doing that until you're down to 1 card in your hand. Keep the last card in your hand. As above.
As above.
So below.
So below.
As above. So below. Don't look at the last card in your hand. It's bad luck. Just hold it between your hands when you're done. All right, perfect. That way we know you'll be done. Yep. All right. And when you're done, we'll finish by saying the most profound magic words you will probably ever say.
Abracadabra.
Melissa sucks.
No.
Okay, no, Melissa said abracadabra. That's actually a good one. It's a combination of Hebrew and Aramaic. It's over 5,000 years old, and it means I create as I speak. This one's even older. We'll just do the English translation. It's even harder to say in Aramaic. So just repeat after me. I give myself permission to be powerful.
I give myself.
I give myself
permission to be
powerful.
It's kind of weird to say in a post-2020 world, isn't it? That means it's working,
I
though.
like it.
Take a look at the card in your hand. It should be your card. Hold it up with the photo you had from before and show you are the magician in your own life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, let's get the
I should.
There it is.
And now you can, now that card is your
I didn't do
talisman.
the screenshot. I thought it was for
That's
like.
okay. That's okay.
That's okay,
That's
we
fine.
believe
That's
you.
okay. That's okay. Well, that card
liar.
that's
With
fine.
him.
That card can now be your talisman to remind you to go forth and continue to accomplish the impossible in your life. And if you ever need a
Queen
boost,
of
you can just
Swords,
listen.
I like it.
You can listen back to this on the podcast and try it. Also, if you can replay this for your friends and see if it works for them. Again, call, post on social media. Let us know how it worked for all of you.
Yes. Joe, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on today.
This
We
was
really
such a
appreciate
blast. Such a blast.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And
thank you to Rebecca
everyone,
for
thank you for
introducing us
coming
all.
in.
This is great. This is great.
it. Yeah, seriously. And this will be posted soon. So, guys,
Great.
thank you so much. We appreciate you, and have a good rest of the day,
You
guys.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, John, did you think it was 1:30 and not 12:30?
I was mowing my lawn and I realized I was late and ran inside. I am so hot and like out of my mind, and immediately sat down and started doing tarot magic.
It's okay. You look great.
Thanks, gang.
See ya.
Same.
Wow. So what an event that was.
What an event.
What an event that was. It's interesting. Okay. Because like I asked him that question about trauma.
Yeah.
Because I have a theory. Like I am not a mentalist, obviously. Surprise.
You're not.
But I think I'm strongly intuitive. And I
Right.
think that there is a parallel between like strongly intuitive and mentalism. And I think it's because you pick up on people's cues and like
You're very sensitive.
patterns. Yes. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes, and not for everyone, this isn't a blanket statement, but I think like if you grow up in some sort of like traumatic familial structure
Mhm.
where you have to be highly sensitive to if you have parents who fight or who drink or something like that, you're always like monitoring the situation and the environment and
Mhm.
their body language and what their face looks like and different cues to be like,
Mhm.
okay, what's like the temperature of the house like right now? Like, what's the climate like? What kind of situation am I walking into, or what kind of mood are they going to be in? So you develop this like hyper vigilant personality where you're always scanning everything around you to try to see
Yeah.
what the situation's like. So I think that, and that becomes kind of a survival mechanism. So I think when you're older, that can kind of become a superpower if you want. So you can see like how are people, you're always watching, where are people's eyes going? Where are they smiling? Are they not smiling? Do they look uncomfortable or do they look comfortable? Things like that. And I think that can serve itself in mentalism. So that's why
Sure.
I asked that question. You and I thought that maybe we knew how a few things happened.
I think I know a lot of the number stuff. It is math, and there's only a certain amount of numbers that can be like deducted from other numbers. The thing is, it's very complicated. Like I have Martin's friend, this magician David Kwong. He's very good at like these crazy number games because he can do math super fast in his head, and it's like not a normal person can do this. You have to be very good at like adding in numbers and memorizing. So that part is like super complicated. Like when he was guessing your number, this 3 numbers subtracted from the other 3 numbers,
Yeah.
I was guessing it was 198. And that's what it was because I just took 3 random numbers and I swapped them and I subtracted them and it was 198. And I was like, oh, so it's only, there's only a certain
like
amount of numbers it could be.
that it could be.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're a mentalist.
I'm a mentalist. But like I don't know how I don't know how he got 297. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
You just
For the PIN number, I know how that happened.
How?
Okay, so you're holding up your hand as if it's the keypad.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, where am I pressing? And my eyes are going in that direction. And that's why I was saying I'm trying not to move my eyes. So like my eyes are going. So my thing, I can't remember what my number was. But I'm like, oh, it was 912. So I'm like, my eyes are going towards the 0, 9, 1, 2. Like my eyes are, when I'm thinking about what my number is, I'm like,
because when you picked 0912, I picked 0924.
really?
Because remember, he's like, it has to be a date that's later in the year. I know the third digit you can get, there's only 2 options a third digit can be because it has to be odd. There's only 30 dates, has to be 1 or 3.
Yeah.
And then I remember he asked if a certain number was higher than another number. I don't know how he did it, but it's like,
I don't know. I just chose my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
And that's not on my Instagram anywhere. And I like didn't change the numbers. I honestly, I don't know. I want to look more into how this stuff.
He's
and
a
like,
magician. Like that's what they do. It's amazing. Like what they can do, like by
it's crazy.
Just numbers and like it's all patterns and math and stuff. Like it's super complicated.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
Not for you.
It was so cute. What was it, Lizzie?
Oh, Lizzie.
Who's doing the math? She's like, huh?
Subtract this number from that number, huh?
Which one? It's like, no, just number? Normal math-wise. Just the big one on top of the small one.
But the way he was saying it was like subtract the lower number from the bigger number, and you're like, wait, what?
Which one?
That was confusing.
Yeah, I get it. Anyways, guys, if you do any of the experiments that we did today, please call in to our let us know. Call in and tell us what answers you got and so on. Remember, we have a new number. It's 626 63 420 69. Or 69
you got that.
is
you
Melissa
remember
calls
that.
it. Yeah, that's I'm gonna remember that forever. All right. Well, I'm Allie Siegel.
I'm Melissa Stetton.
And that's all, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Powered by Acast.